priest stood by the pews, energetically polishing something. Excuse me, Father.
Pardon?
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Not at all, monsieur. It will be my pleasure to help you.
You must be proud to have such an incredible collection of stained glass.
Pride is a sin, monsieur, but it is hard not to marvel when the light shines through them. It is a fine example of the artisan's genius.
What do you know about the Knights Templar?
You have come to the right place, if that is your interest. Many of them were executed in the square outside. It was a disgrace to France.
Well, the Pope was right behind it, though.
Clement V was a man of mammon, not of God.
That's kind of forthright for a priest, isn't it?
You think so? It is hard to be sure what happened. It is so long ago.
How long have you worked here?
Hardly work, monsieur. This is a calling. I have been helping Father Flambert for nearly 6 months now.
I guess you don't know much about the history of this church, then.
Just a little.
You've got quite a shine on that candlestick.
Ah, oui. Anything less than best would be an insult to the Almighty.
I guess so. I never thought of it like that. I have here a sewer key.
Ah, oui?
I don't know why I'm showing you this.
Neither do I.
I've got a red nose.
Oui, so you have.
There's grease paint on this tissue.
Oui, you are correct.
Have you seen this man before?
No, I have never seen him before.
I thought about using the shake and shock on him, but I couldn't do that to a priest. Have you ever heard of this guy?
No, monsieur. I'm afraid not. Is he a friend?
Not really. More of an acquaintance. I was in Ireland recently, and I brought back this plaster.
My sister brought back a shillelagh.
Have you ever seen anything like this lens?
No, never. The glass seems subtly colored in some way.
Yeah, I've never noticed that before. What do you make of this chalice?
It certainly looks very old.
About as old as this church, I think.
There seems to be an engraving on it.
Yeah? What does it say?
I do not know. It is very tarnished. With your permission, I could try polishing it. I promise I will be very careful.
That'd be very good of you.
This shouldn't take very long. Feel free to look around.
Okay, thanks. The lens fitted into the end of the scroll like a hand into a glove. Hey! A Knight Templar burning at the stake, and a date. Let me see. MCCC-XIV. That's 1314. On the end of the staff was some kind of disc with a cross on it. Around the base of the disc was a hairline crack. Well, I could have just taken the end off the staff, but I wanted to be sure what I'd be getting out of vandalizing a church, other than deported. Hello again, Father. Hey, thanks.
It is my pleasure, monsieur.
What was the writing on the chalice?
It was not writing, my mistake. It was a coat of arms. The remarkable thing is that it seems very familiar.
Yeah?
Oui, I think I have seen it on that wall tomb in the far corner. That winged horse is quite distinctive.
Did you know that the center window conceals an image of a man burning at the stake?
The Burning Man?
What, you knew?
That there was a hidden image? No. But the church has a reputation for being haunted. Many times, people have claimed to have seen the Burning Man in the window. But when others they look, there is nothing. Perhaps the light has to be just so for the figure to appear.
Yeah, or maybe you need a special lens. Catch you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
No. It couldn't be. Could it? Now that my attention had been drawn to it, there was no mistake. There was no name on it, but the coat of arms was undeniably the Pegasus of the De Vasconcellos family. I'd found the last resting place of Don Carlos. My eye was drawn to the biblical references carved into the edge of the tomb. Hey, maybe these biblical references mean something. Psalms 32:7, John 4:11, Corinthians 1:4-5, and just one more. Psalms 22:21. I may not be perfect, but I've got a memory like a steel trap. The chalice had led me to these inscriptions, but it looked like a happy coincidence to me. After all, the De Vasconcellos arms were already on the manuscript. Nope, I was still convinced that the chalice had some significance all of its own. A statue of a knight holding a staff and a scroll. The Templars were demonstrating a pretty good grasp of physics. If the dissolution hadn't happened, we'd have had cold fusion power last century. Hello again, Father.
Bonjour, monsieur. How pleasant to speak to you again.
Catch you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
You're back.
Oui, I have returned.
Hello again.
Hello again, monsieur.
Well, I wasn't expecting to see you back here again.
No? Well, it is a strange thing, but I am here on duty.
On duty? But you're just sitting there drinking wine.
No, I am not just drinking wine. I am undercover.
I must be missing something. You're in uniform.
Precisely, monsieur. My cover is that of an indolent wine-guzzling police officer.
You've got me convinced.
Merci. But in reality, my every muscle is poised, every nerve honed. I am drawn tight, ready to pounce. Dang!
Who or what were you planning to pizzang on?
You must have heard, monsieur, of the terror that is gripping Paris.
You mean the killings? Oh, at last, someone's taken action.
People die every day. No, no, I am on the trail of Sewer Jacques.
Who?
Sewer Jacques, the terror of the subterranean city. He pops up here, he pops up there. The cops, they seek him everywhere. Is it so hush or beneath the neck? That damned elusive Sewer Jacques.
Bravo, that's very good.
Merci. I was up half the night writing that.
Who is this Sewer Jacques character anyway?
Ah, if we but knew that, we could have him in custody in an hour. But he is cunning. To despoil the sewers of our fair city, he has committed many deceptions. He has pretended to be a police officer and deluded a poor war veteran.
Uh-oh.
He has pretended to be a jongleur
Wow, is that the time?
and an American tourist. What nationality are you, monsieur?
Canadian. Well, gotta go now. See ya. Well, it's not everyone who can say they started an urban myth.
Hi, Andre.
Hello, Georgie. Where have you been? Nico said you were away.
I just returned from Syria.
Syria? On the trail of the Templars?
It's a long story, but I found the bull's head. It was referred to on the manuscript, remember?
Yes, what is it?
A secret cave built into a high cliff face. In the cave, I discovered a map bearing a phrase in Latin. In accidenta cita est in ora mundi.
The island of Britain.
Lies at the edge of the world, to the west.
Strange. That map seems to contain a series of pointers.
Like I said, it's a treasure map. While I was in Syria, I discovered a strange pagan statue. It was like a head with 3 bearded faces. Horrible.
That sounds as if it could be Baphomet, the idol described by the Templars.
The poor Knights of Christ had an idol that looked like that?
Allegedly, yeah. The description of the idol came from the evidence extracted by the Inquisition. Mind you, not one statue or idol was ever found on Templar property. Until now, that is. Just last month, a statue of Baphomet was unearthed right here in Paris.
Where?
At the Institut Hermétique de Nerval. The statue is beneath the foundations. It was discovered by some workmen while renovating the building.
Can you tell me any more about the statue of Baphomet?
It's a fearful image, even now, a bearded head. The base of the statue is carved with Templar symbols. One of the workmen noticed a curious stain at the base. He claimed it looked like blood.
Blood?
That's right.
Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
Hi, Andre.
Hello, Georgie.
What do you make of this cup, Andre?
It's a 14th century communion vessel. Spanish, probably.
You sure know your onions. Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
The painter didn't seem to regard the painting as too important. Not as important as a cigarette break, anyway. Excuse me, could you help me?
What is it?
I've got a few questions. What does the word Templar suggest to you?
Templar?
Nothing.
Nothing.
You're doing a fine job.
Merci. I have my professional pride.
I don't think I've ever seen a Gauloise smoke so stylishly.
It's a natural talent.
I'm being sarcastic.
I'm being indifferent.
You're very good at that as well.
Merci. Vive l'indifférence.
So, what are you doing here?
I am having my break.
Yeah, I mean when you finish your break.
Oh, when I finish my break, an interesting concept, monsieur.
You'll probably need to think about it.
I could have another cigarette while I consider. Perhaps tomorrow too?
Okay, let me put things differently. What were you hired to do here?
I was hired to keep the archaeological dig in the basement of this building clear of debris, and to touch up damage to the door frames with my little pot of paint. It's a very responsible job. Unfortunately, I'm not a very responsible person.
So what do you know about the excavation?
I know they won't let me in to do my job. I would complain to my union, but là...
You couldn't be bothered to join.
Right. Tell you what, though. I'm surprised at the sort of people interested in this excavation.
What's unusual about the visitors to the excavation?
None of them look like archaeologists to me.
Do you know what an archaeologist looks like?
Three-piece suits, crocodile-eyed attaché cases, Rolex oyster.
But no archaeologist dresses like that.
Quite right, monsieur, quite right.
So, who are they?
Who cares as long as they pay me?
I've got a sewer key.
I used to work in the sewer.
Oh? What happened?
I had a cigarette break in a pocket of methane. A manhole cover landed on the other side of the Seine and I was sacked.
I have a red nose.
Imagine. A greasy tissue. Don't get it too close to my cigarette, monsieur, or there'll be a conflagration.
Have you seen this man before?
Yes, he asked me a lot of questions, just like you.
I was pretty sure the Shaken Shock had shot its bolt in Syria. Has a guy calling himself Merlin been nosing around?
Was he wearing a t-shirt with "My name is Merlin" on it?
I doubt it.
Then how the hell am I supposed to know his name just by looking at him? Huh?
I have some plaster of Paris.
Amazing.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
Yes, it's a communion chalice. I know, you know, I used to be an altar boy.
You?
Yes, me. What's so funny about that?
Nothing. Be seeing you.
Au revoir, monsieur.
The painter had a pot of gunmetal gray primer hanging from the barrier.
Hey, monsieur! Get away from my paint pot!
Okay.
I should think so. Meddling with a man's paint pot. Pah!
There was a dumpster full of debris. From the excavation, I guessed.
Hey, you! Get away from my dumpster.
There was a closed door with toilet scratched into the cheap veneer. There was a closed door with toilet scratched into the cheap veneer.
That door's locked, monsieur.
There was a telephone on the far wall. A guard stood by a door I guessed led to the excavation. He looked pretty pompous. Well, not so much pretty, just pompous. A thermostat was mounted over a radiator. The radiator was pumping out heat as the thermostat was cranked right over to full. No wonder it was warm in here, even with the door open to the chill of fall. I couldn't imagine what I'd achieved by turning the dial. The doorway was full of assorted old tea chests, cardboard boxes, and so on, all empty and all uninteresting. The doorway led to an old utility closet that had lost its door. There was nothing interesting in there. Hi? Excuse me?
Oui?
What do you know about the Knights Templar? There was a long pause, during which the guard said nothing. Then he said,
Nothing.
"Nothing at all?
Is this a test?
What, like a history pop test?"
No, like a test.
Okay, yes, it's a test.
Then I know absolutely nothing about the Templars.
The guard was being amazingly evasive. It was going to take more than goodwill to get past him. Trying to get into a locked washroom. I had the strongest feeling of déjà vu. I'd like to use the washroom, but the door's locked.
Oh, that's no problem. You can have the key.
Thanks. It sure is hot in here.
I have to have the door open to allow the workmen access, so why not? I turn the heat up.
You could wrap up warm.
I have my gloves if it gets cold, but why bother when it's warm anyway?
So, what exactly are you doing here?
I'm guarding. You expect to find me shearing sheep?
Take it easy. I just didn't realize you were a guard. I'd like to know what you're guarding, please.
That's a secret.
It wouldn't happen to be an archaeological site, would it?
Are you asking me or telling me?
I'm telling you.
Then why ask?
I had a feeling this was no normal hole in the ground. This gadget is a sewer key.
So it is.
I've got a red nose.
Oh,
Look, a tissue stained with grease paint.
just what I've always wanted. If you give me that, you can enter through the door.
Really?
Of course not. What would I want with an old tissue?
Have you seen this man before?
Oh,
You have.
no.
I was going to have to get rid of this thing. It was dead. Do you recognize this name?
Merlin. No.
I got this plaster from Ireland.
Not an exciting souvenir.
I thought better of showing him the chalice. He might be on the conspiracy's payroll, and I didn't want to risk it.
Oui. You have...
A sudden urge to sing. Care to join me?
No, no singing in here.
Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
A filthy wash basin hung on the wall. It was the bar of soap I'd stolen from the washroom of the excavation site. There was a ventilation grill up in the wall. I could have climbed onto the sink, prized the ventilator cover loose, wedged myself into the tiny hole, smashed the far cover out, and plunged headfirst into the next room. Or I could just go through the door like a sane person. The cold tap's washer looked to have failed. It was just dribbling down the sink. The taps were rusty. Oh, boy! The cold tap's washer looked to have failed. It was just dribbling down the sink. A hand dryer was mounted on the wall. If the Club Alamut had used one of these instead of a roller towel, I'd probably still be stuck in Marib. There was a big old boiler used for heating the building. The thing felt really hot. Big demands seemed to be being made on it. I didn't need to get near to tell the toilet needed cleaning. Being in a charming comfort station like this made me think fondly of the toilet in Syria. That place was kept in pretty good order. At least, it had been until I vandalized it. Still, it was all for a good cause. A bin stood in the corner. It didn't look like it had been emptied for a while. I wasn't that interested in what might go into a restroom's garbage to investigate. I didn't want any coal. A huge pile of coal lay in the corner to fuel the boiler. Real high-tech stuff. Capacious as my pockets were, I didn't figure I could cram a shovel in them. The shovel used to feed the furnace was stuck into the pile of coal. A hand dryer was mounted on the wall. If the Club Alamat had used one of these instead of a roller towel, I'd probably still be stuck in Marib. I turned the heating off. The doorway was full of assorted old tea chests, cardboard boxes, and so on, all empty and all uninteresting. Hi again.
What is it?
Here's the keys. Thanks.
Merci, monsieur.
Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Hi, it's me again.
What now?
Would you be interested in soap?
Not at this exact moment, no.
Be seeing you.
Au revoir, monsieur. Hey, monsieur! Get away from my paint pot!
Okay.
I should think so. Meddling with a man's paint pot. Pah!
Hi again.
What is it?
What was I supposed to say? Hey, look what I stole. I need to use the toilet again.
Again? Already?
I have this problem. How technical do you want me to get?
Never mind. Here's the key.
Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
The taps were rusty. Oh, boy. The cold taps washer looked to have failed. It was just dribbling down the sink. I figured washing my hands with that soap in that sink would just get my hands dirtier than when I'd started. A filthy wash basin hung on the wall. I didn't want to use that unless I really had to. There was a big old boiler used for heating the building. The thing felt really hot. Big demands seemed to be being made on it. I turned the thermostat back to where I'd found it. Hi again.
What is it?
Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
On the keyring was a big old key that looked like it might fit the excavation door. The keyring contained the keys to the washroom and the excavation. No. I figured this was better done out of the guard's sight. The keyring contained the keys to the washroom and the excavation. I made an impression of the big key in the cake of soap. I carefully sprinkled the plaster into the soap mold I'd made of the key. Well, it had taken a while, but I had made myself a completely unconvincing plaster key. Way too fragile to use in a lock. I'd have to substitute it for the real one. Trouble was, it looked like plaster and not metal. Then again, that plaster statue in Syria hadn't looked like stone until I'd been a bit artful with it. Maybe I could improve the key as well. Maybe not. Do you mind if I use the phone?
Be my guest. I'm paid to guard this door. The phone can look after itself.
Hi, Nico?
George, what have you discovered?
Nothing yet.
Nothing. Is something wrong?
No.
George, why are you calling me?
Oh, no reason. I just wanted to hear your voice.
You did. Well, this is my voice saying, don't bother me, I'm busy.
Oh.
Hey, monsieur, don't go with my keys. What is it?
Here's the keys. Thanks.
Merci, monsieur.
Hi, it's me again.
What now?
I made this key out of plaster.
Thrilling! How clever! How pointless.
Be seeing you.
Au revoir, monsieur. Hey, monsieur! Get away from my paint pot!
Okay.
I should think so. Meddling with a man's paint pot. Pah!
The painter didn't seem to regard the painting as too important. Not as important as a cigarette break, anyway. The archway was topped by a fancy balustrade. Oh, darn. I'd left my grappling hook at home. No way could I get up there.
Killer!
Hi, Nico. It's me. I'm at the excavation site.
Goodbye, George.
No, wait a minute. I need your help.
What kind of help? I told you I'm busy.
This will only take a few minutes, I promise.
Okay, what do you want me to do?
I want you to keep somebody on the phone for a while.
Who?
A painter. I need to get at his pot.
Oh, okay.
Stay on the line. I'll go and get him.
Hi, it's me again.
What now?
You've got a phone call.
For me? Are you certain?
It's a woman. She sounded hot.
What woman? She must be mistaken, monsieur.
Well, she asked for that hunk of a man with the nicotine fingers and his ass hanging out of his pants.
Certainly sounds like me. Stand back. It wouldn't do to keep the lady from her hunk.
There was a dumpster full of debris. From the excavation, I guessed.
Well, monsieur, what a strange woman. She was all over me, and then suddenly, nothing but abuse.
Really?
What? Abuse? Ah well, I have a cigarette to finish. And monsieur, if she calls again, I am not available.
Hi again.
What is it?
I need to use the toilet again.
Again? Already?
I have this problem. How technical do you want me to get?
Oh, never mind. Here's the key.
Here's the keys. Thanks.
Merci, monsieur.
I need to use the toilet again.
Again? Already?
I have this problem. How technical do you want me to get?
Oh, never mind. Here's the key.
Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
The plaster key had soaked up the paint nicely, and now looked pretty convincing. Still felt like plaster, though. Quickly and without fuss, I swapped the fake key for the real thing.
What is it?
I held my breath and hoped that he wouldn't notice the substitution. Here's the keys. Thanks.
Merci, monsieur.
Hi, it's me again.
What now?
Be seeing you.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Hi, Nico. It's me again.
I'd guessed. What do you want this time?
What did you say to the painter?
I shan't repeat it, Josh.
Look, I need to get the guard out of the way. Could you call back and ask him to get the painter again?
Okay, I'll call back soon.
This looked like a good place to watch things develop.
Hey, you. It's the phone.
Yeah? Who is it?
How should I know? What am I, your social secretary?
It's not a chick, is it?
Yes, it's a woman. Are you going to answer it?
Does she have a warm, sensual voice like molten chocolate?
Yes, she has a really sexy voice. Now get a move on.
I'm not talking to her.
I can see that. You're wasting time talking to me.
No, you don't understand. I refuse to talk to her.
You refuse. You refuse. I'm wasting valuable time.
Don't make me laugh. Your time valuable? You just stand around all day.
I have a highly responsible job. Ha! Don't me, you elephantine oaf. My job is important.
Impossible. They would have hired somebody competent in that case.
Meaning what?
Instead of which they hired a dismal rent-a-cop like you. All epaulettes and no brains.
Why, you...
This looked set to carry on for some time. It was too good an opportunity to miss.
Now there's a familiar face. There was no doubt about it. It was the same sort of idol I'd seen in Syria, Baphomet. The Templars had certainly been through here. Oh, great. More dead people. Although the gendarmes weren't likely to pull in any suspects unless they had a time machine. This guy must have been here for centuries. No, thanks. I think I'm carrying enough junk. Now there's a familiar face. There was no doubt about it. It was the same sort of idol I'd seen in Syria, Baphomet. The Templars had certainly been through here. In the middle of the floor was a weird mosaic, all swirling and distorted. Close up, the pattern didn't make any sort of sense. It fanned out around an axis point, a kind of focus to one side. close up, the pattern didn't make any sort of sense. It fanned out around an axis point, a kind of focus to one side. And there it was, decoded by the curves of the chalice, the image of a church. I found out what the chalice was for.
You've solved the puzzle?
Yeah, there was a distorted picture at the Baphomet site. When I viewed it in the polished surface of the chalice, it changed.
What did it show?
A picture of a church with a square tower. I guess I'd better return the chalice to the Countess.
Hurry back, George.
Hey everyone,
Thank you so much for watching.
and if you enjoyed this, don't forget to leave us a like, comment, and subscribe.
And click on that pop-out box for the next video.
One of the fangs is a separate piece. I could hear the sound of a lot of stone moving, and I knew I was in danger.